Why are you laughing?
Well, Vance and Ben are with me.
So it is a travel day today. We are fixing to head to the New Orleans KOA. We don't have too much to get picked up here. Just got to disconnect the water, disconnect the power, get the leveling jacks up. So we're going to be able to be out of here pretty quick. So it was quite windy that morning at Mayer State Park, as you can tell by that poor audio quality. But otherwise it was a nice day. And we took the dogs out for one more good walk before it was time to pull up stakes and get the camper ready to travel. We were headed to New Orleans that day, and our destination was going to be the KOA campground in River Ridge, Louisiana. And I had intentionally planned this trip short, and when I say short, I mean really short. It's a 2-hour and 29-minute drive according to Google Maps. We just had 162 miles to go. Our first and only stop today is at a Sam's. I can't remember. Well, I think we just passed, what did we just pass? Biloxi. Yeah, we just passed Biloxi, Mississippi. So today's drive, I had planned it this way on purpose. It was a really short drive. So we're just taking one quick stop to let the dogs get out and get a snack and use the restroom. And we will be back on the road. So this KOA campground we were going to be staying at, I had seen it before and looked at it before because it's a couple of blocks from my sister's house, and that's why it's so convenient for us. But it is no 5-star campground. Let me tell you, it's an old school campground. It's been in its location here forever, and so, but it's got a good reputation as far as being safe and clean, and so here we are, KOA, New Orleans. Okay, we made it to the New Orleans KOA with no issues. It was a smooth, short drive. This is not the most scenic park in the world. We've got neighbors all around us. Neighbors right here, neighbor right there, neighbors across the street. So they cram you in kind of tight here, but we are right here in River Ridge, a couple blocks away from my sister Robin, so that's a good thing. So this was sort of like it was in St. Augustine, where we were just taking up residence here in the area for a while, and so Kelly and I started doing some running around. We had purposefully waited to go to a couple of bigger stores once we got here to New Orleans. We needed a few things for the camper. We're still figuring out some stuff we need as far as household items and just trying to make the camper a little bit more comfortable and livable. And so we spent the day kind of at the campground getting settled in, and also visiting with my sister Robin, which was one of the reasons why we came here in the first place. And it's so great to be just a couple of blocks from her. We've been running back and forth over to her house since we got here. So I think it's always fun to go to a place you used to go when you were a kid and see if it's still as good as it used to be. So Kelly and I that day, we headed to Bud's Broiler for lunch.
Joe, how many medium rare you get?
Say that again?
How many medium rare you get?
I want,
2 medium rare?
but I want all these separate in the bag.
Okay, but all of them, how many medium rare?
So good. Yummy. So yeah, Bud's Broiler, after all those years, is still keeping it real. It was good. That afternoon, we had to head over to the airport and pick up Ben. So Ben was joining us, and we went and hung out at Robin's for a little bit and had a good time over there. Well, another thing you've got to do while you're in New Orleans is you got to have some beignets. And that they have these Café Des Moines out in the suburbs now. And as someone who grew up having those things downtown in the French Quarter and having had them out here in the suburbs, these are just as good as the ones downtown. They're yummy. And that afternoon, Ben and Kelly and I headed downtown to hook up with Emily and David, who had just arrived in town. So here we are in New Orleans, and we are about to go check out an escape room, but road's here under construction. See how it goes. We did in fact escape from the escape room. We had success. It took us right up until the very last second, but we did escape. So my son Ben runs an escape room business actually in Lubbock, Texas, and I will link in the description below to the website for his business. But one of the things we like to do as a family now when we travel is go to escape rooms, both for research for Ben's business purposes, but also because it's fun to do. We enjoy doing it. And that afternoon we headed out to Robin's and had roast beef poor boys. She made them for us. They were so good. Sunday morning, we booked a airboat excursion, and to do that, you have to meet downtown, and the tour company that we did it through, they bus you out to Jean Lafitte, Louisiana, which is where the actual airboat rides take place. So we are going to go on an airboat adventure today. At least that's what they say in the brochure. They trucked us all the way from New Orleans out here to Jean Lafitte, Louisiana, which is where the boat ride starts. So I realized once I got out there, we could have booked this thing directly with the airboat company, and we could have driven out here ourselves and saved a lot of sitting around time. So if you're ever in New Orleans and you've got transportation and you're consider doing this, you might book it yourself and not have to do all this waiting around like we did. So luckily the weather cooperated. It had been raining all morning long, but it really actually did stop raining while we were out there doing the ride. So we didn't get rained on. We were able to do it. And it was fun. It was the dormant season for the alligators. We spotted about 3 small gators. The really big ones, he said, were hibernating at this time of year. But it was really interesting going up into these little jetties and seeing the kind of swampy wetlands area of south of New Orleans that really, unless you're specifically going there to do an airboat tour, there's not much reason to go down to this part of the country. So after our airboat adventure, we got bussed back into the city, and then we all got ready, and then that night we went out for our one final meal. We were all heading out the next day. We went and had a really good meal of some great seafood, And then tomorrow was a travel day for us, and we'll catch you guys on the road.